Here we go. Hey, I'm going to check the number. This is episode 448.
Episode 448.
So anyway, in other words, Dean Edwards, you're 2 weeks late for the big 450. We're going to have the celebration we're going to have in 2 weeks is going to be incredible.
Darn it all. Do you know who the guest is for 450?
Well, first of all, we don't have anything planned. And, I know next week is Jake Johansson, 449.
Okay.
450 is... Well, we're going to have to wait and see. We're not sure yet. But in any case, this is No Laugh Track Podcast. We're here at Acme Comedy Company
Comedy Club
in Minneapolis.
Yes.
I am here for a, do you remember how many times you've done this, Dean Edwards?
I think this is my fourth time.
Correct.
I was talking to the host's name starts with a J last night. James and Mo, who was featuring.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because when I walked in the green room, I didn't. Sometimes you don't know if someone knows you've been there, and so he was like, "Yeah, anything you want, anything." I was like, "I've been there a bunch of times, And then I started doing the math. I was like, because I also was saying to him, I said, "Yeah, I remember coming on Tuesday. I remember it was a Tuesday through Saturday run."
At one point, yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, and I think the first two times, I don't know if we did the podcast the first or second time. I don't know. But I remember they had it was a new talent.
Oh yeah,
or a
funniest
contest
person
thing.
contest.
Yeah,
every summer.
Yeah, and that was always fun. And that's what's funny because I ain't never been here in the winter. If for those that stream this, y'all see, I have my parka on. This is my Fat Farm. This jacket, I got this jacket in 2002. I was on Saturday Night Live. And there was a nor'easter coming to New York. I was like, you know what? I'm making a little coin now. I said I'm gonna get a good jacket. And I have two winter jackets, two winter parkas. One is like just thrown. This is the joint that has weight to it.
I
can
see
what I mean?
that.
Like there's some weight on here. And right now, this morning in Minneapolis, it was -8. And then it warmed up to -6, and now it's a balmy 4.
Yeah, come on.
Or maybe a 7. So, but it's still we're in the club, and so it's underground, and there's no sense in wasting heat at this hour for 1, 2, 4 of us. And so I took my jacket off at the beginning. I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna put this back on now."
Yeah, and I'm keeping my stocking cap on.
Yeah, just to be safe. I don't need a stocking cap. Got an afro. So it's good. It's good to be back here, Justin. Thank you for having me, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you know this, but I snuck in and watched your set last night.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Oh, what? You. Now I'm like, what you think?
Well, let's talk about what you. 16 minutes in. What was that all about?
What?
I'm just kidding.
Dude. No, it's funny because I was like at the 16-minute mark, I probably was talking about.
Could you pinpoint that?
I could almost pinpoint. You know what? I'm almost tempted because I recorded it. I'm gonna say at 16 minutes, I was talking about flying first class without my family, ish. I know that's early. You know what? I'm turning this off, and now I'm about to. I'm recording this on my phone to post to my social media, but I gotta turn this off because I wanna check to see how accurate I am. Yo, how dope would that be? If we about to check right now. We're gonna continue.
All right.
But I'm in the meantime. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hold up. This is.
While you're searching that, I'm gonna bring up some breaking news we have.
Okay.
Dean Edwards.
Okay.
So last night when you were on stage, one of the things you mentioned was Tiger King. You briefly mentioned Tiger King.
Right. Yeah.
Joe Exotic. Did you see?
Is he getting out?
Quite the opposite.
Uh-oh.
He got resentenced today.
Oh, damn it, Joe.
Yeah. I don't even know how this happens.
How do you get resentenced? You know what I've learned with a lot, celebrities specifically that get an opportunity, and he's a celebrity, more infamous than about fame, but they don't know how to shut up, right? Like, for instance, OJ, you got away with whatever happened. Disappear. Go away. The last thing people want is for you to do something, get away with it, and then you flaunt it in their face because they're like, "Now we're gonna get him on something else."
Oh yeah, he's wagging it in front of us.
Yeah, it's like, no, shut up. Shut up, disappear.
Yeah. The fact that he has a popular Twitter account,
dude.
I mean, seriously.
I saw someone I follow on Instagram, in Florida, I think. She had a picture with OJ within the last week, and I was like, and I said, "You're not smiling. You're nervous right now. I can see it. I can see." I said, "And you're blonde, so you're doubly nervous." It's like, what are you doing? Why are you taking a picture with
The better
OJ?
question is who requested that picture, him or her?
Exactly.
Huh?
Exactly.
Were you checking the background? Like, is it? Oh my God, is he in the house?
No, because at that
this is a public setting.
It was public.
Okay,
definitely public. Have you ever seen the video of that girl that takes a picture of the OJ and then he kind of like leans in? Maybe not to kiss her, but just to, and she's like, and she like kind of bleeds away like, that's enough. I got my picture now. This is weird.
No, but that's very wise.
Yeah,
that is very wise.
Woman.
So we need to talk about. So last time you were here, it was.
It was September, the first weekend of September 2020.
September 3rd,
Boom.
2020 is
Boom.
when we recorded, I
Yeah,
believe.
boom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And during that recording, you said, "Hey man, I have something coming up. I can't."
Oh, did I not say what it was?
I can't say what it is.
That's funny.
I don't have everything signed yet, but it's coming up.
Right,
it's
right,
big, and I'm just gonna say, you'll know. Those were your words.
Oh, that's
you'll
funny.
know.
That's funny.
And then a few months later,
I
did know.
You knew. Okay.
I did know.
Okay, that's funny.
You had the Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
They Ready special on Netflix.
Yes, man. It was. I mentioned, you saw last night. I mentioned this was the first club that I was able to start working the set. You know, for those that are listening that might not know, normally when you work on anything really televised, you're gonna put in a great deal of time to prepare.
Yeah.
So when you're working on a special, like Chris Rock, if you see Chris Rock or Chappelle or Louis or Burr or Aziz or whomever, right, preparing for a new special, that set has been worked for a year.
Yep.
When people see the finished product on Netflix or HBO or Amazon or what have you. We've seen Gaffigan running that set for the last year, and it might have started where he's just bouncing around in the spots in New York City. And then he might take it, bigger comics have different approaches. Some will do the clubs locally in the city, and then they'll take it to like the clubs on the road.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I mean, for example, I've seen Louis C.K. his
Right.
last two specials.
Right.
He came through Acme running that.
Okay, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and then they graduate to the theaters,
Yep.
maybe the arenas, and then they shoot that, and then by the time the worldwide audience gets to see it, that set has been run thousands of times with a fine-tooth comb to economize and make sure your verbiage and your words are exactly what they need to be, and everything's been played around with in the order of the jokes and what have you. I had a month. I had a month. Tiffany told me I want to say August 15th, and my first weekend on the road, and I was very happy because Acme was the one club that we had it booked from early in 2020, but I wasn't scheduled till September, so this was the one club that didn't cancel, because by the time things were starting to get figured out, you guys had reopened, and so I was so happy. And then From here, I think I had a club in Indianapolis, club in Rhode Island, and then something in New York. So I had 4 weekends of prep time, and then we shot October 2nd and October 3rd in Cali, out in Long Beach. And I actually shot it in the same at the same venue that Richard Pryor shot live in concert in 1979. I was super proud of that because other comics that shot their specials. Myself, Godfrey, Tony Woods, the very funny Aaron Jackson, Kim Clark and Barbara Carlisle, and I remember we were all just standing. I was like, "Yo, this is where Richard shot, to me, what is probably the greatest stand-up comedy showcase ever filmed, because I still can watch Richard Pryor live in concert, the one where he's in the red top, black pants, gold shoes. Not the best, he didn't have the best fashion sense. And he was sweating profusely.
Yes.
He was sweating profusely, and I
picture, as soon as you said that red, I pictured that.
Yeah, and I remember Huey P. Newton was in the audience. Patti LaBelle opened that concert, and so all of this is going through your minds. And then I actually remember I believe I was in his dressing room. My dressing room was Richard's dressing room, because it was upstairs, and some of the people were further down the hall. And so I was like, yo, I gotta bring it. And then the funny part was, they built this because of COVID. We shot outdoors, right? Now, I can see from your face, you didn't realize that's an outdoor shot, right?
No, I'm like that's not what I saw.
Yeah, no, they built. Shout out to Paige Hurwitz, one of producers. She actually directed and is Wanda Sykes' production partner at Push It Up Productions, and Paige, they built a stage in front of Long Beach Terrace Theater. They built a stage, and the audience is outside. And if you go back and look, anyone that watch Tiffany Haddish Presents They Ready season 2. I'm episode 6, but you can watch all the episodes and you'll love it. If you notice, you don't see the standard cut to audience members, because people were masked. And so they didn't want to show people, because I had a couple of people say, was the audience CGI'd? I said, no, they were there because of COVID. People were like, are people really there? Is that real? I said, no, they're really laughing.
Yeah.
I said, but people had their masks on. And so we shot most of the time when you shoot specials, they shoot them consecutive days or consecutive multiple shows in one night.
Right.
So we did Friday and Saturday. Friday night was necessary because we had every technical difficulty you could expect, right? I had cameras, the entire floods on the stage right went out. And I'm very dark, and it was nighttime, and so and so I had to just start playing to stage left because the light was on me. But prior to that, I had 2 punchlines ruined because we're on a main strip in Long Beach. 2 loud, small penis riding motorcyclists rode by and wanted to make as much, and they drowned out. And you know, I trudged on and trudged through. But when the light finally went out, I was like, all right, that's where the club comic takes over, and you say, I have to make sure this audience is laughing. So yeah. Saturday, and Godfrey had a helicopter. Godfrey
landed on stage behind him.
Godfrey had a helicopter go by on maybe once or twice, and so by Saturday, the comedy gods were looking down. We had Richard. We had geez, I'm blanking. We had Richard. We had the Spirit of Red Fox. We had what's Brain with the ponytail? Jeez, why can't I? What's the trifecta of comedy? It's Cosby. It's Richard and white guy ponytail.
George Carlin.
Jeez, what the hell? They shined down on us. There were no technical difficulties. There were no loud vehicles riding by. And anyone that decides to send a message saying, how does he not know Carlin's name, but he put Cosby in there? Relax, all right? But, yeah, we had – Saturday was flawless, and it also I was happy with it because I went first on Friday night. So, you know, as comics, when we're shooting something with an audience, you want mid-show. You want to go right. The sweet spot is right in the middle. And I was like, well, I'm first. And I said, well, that means they believe in me enough to open the night.
Yeah.
But then 2 loud motorcycles and a light later, I'm like, man, this. and then you're watching everybody else get a little more energy. And I was like, man. So second night we flip-flopped. I went on last. Godfrey was first, and they reversed everybody else. And that actually is the order that they wound up. The specials are listed.
Look at that.
So I went on. So I'm episode 6, but I went on last on that second night, and the crowd was fire. Alex Thomas did a great job warming the crowd up. And it was like everyone was just running their relay and handing the baton, man. Everybody was just crushing. I remember I was unable to watch everyone because, you're in that's the thing. You're going last. And so now you're like, I just got to make sure I get everything right. And because you saw what I was working on, I can say it now. There's what I call, I'm coining this term. I call it an impression run, right? A lot of guys or gals will do impressions, but I don't think anyone does them the way I do them, especially in my special, because I like to take it a little further, push a little harder, and instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to do Denzel Washington, I'm doing an entire scene. And so one of my favorite texts I received was from Roy Wood Jr. after it premiered. He was like, yo, son, did you just do an entire sketch? And that's because that's really what it was. It was like I have the final 6 minutes, which I had just come up with within those 6 weeks of Tiffany calling me.
Yeah.
Is something where I'm doing an impression of Chris Rock and Monique, and it was Chris Rock, it's Monique, Denzel Washington, Tracy Morgan. I took the Don Cheadle out. 50 Cent is in there, and Will Smith, right? And them all interacting, and so I was very proud because it took a lot of rehearsing, a lot of getting on stage.
Hell yeah.
A lot less stage time than I normally would have liked to put in. But it was enough that it came out extremely well, and people still are responding positively.
That is fantastic. Roy Wood Jr., I'm glad you brought him up when I was part of that, because I've noticed over the years he's been here. He's done this podcast back before he was
right.
who he is now, Mr. Daily Show and everything.
Oops.
But he's amazing, and I really respect that about him, about pointing out like the people before him, helping out the people at his level.
Right.
Like he shows so much respect to comedy and the craft and people's work. I follow him on social media, and he does that stuff all the time. He's just fantastic.
No, you know what? I never, it's such a small community when you think about it. It's like they're, clubs worldwide, countrywide, nationwide, worldwide. And I think because we all know that we've all gone through sort of the same struggles, regardless of what level that you are with your career.
Yeah.
It's like ball players. You've heard over the years, you've heard stories about rest in peace, a Kobe Bryant would go to the Rucker tournament up in Harlem and show his face.
Yeah.
You're keeping your ear to the street. It's the equivalent of being a Miles Davis and getting to the city and saying, where's the jazz club around here? And people like, dude, Miles Davis just wound up in this hole in the wall club, because you have such a love and admiration and respect for it. And none of us are too big to interact with each other. And I think once, you can be like, this big name star stand up, but when you're just sitting down with comics, like Kevin Hart, sorry. I ain't calling him Kevin Hart. You Kev to me. He's Lil Kev the Bastard. That's who he is. Now, Kev was in New York promoting his excellent that limited series he did on Netflix with Wesley Snipes, True Story, and I hadn't seen Kev in years, and we were tight, back in the days, but it was great. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years, and he was walking by to go do a set at the Cellar, and he saw me. He stood up, big hug. Then after the set, me, him, Godfrey, and a bunch of other comics just sitting there chopping it up, talking shop, man. And that's that's what this does. It's like guys that served in the military together, and
which you know about.
Yeah, which I know about. And you all have the same stories about going through basic training.
Yeah.
Whether you trained at Fort Leonard Wood or Fort Jackson or Paris Island, boot camp is boot camp. And you had a drill yelling, "Get your dick in the dirt, private," And so we all share that same history, and so there's a certain camaraderie that comes with that.
My brother-in-law went to Fort Leonard Wood.
Okay.
I got a Leonard Wood sweatshirt at home.
Oh, see?
My brother-in-law
Yeah.
went there. So when you're hanging with Kevin Hart, is there at any moment you're like, hey, could you throw me like a few million your Instagram followers? You have like 100. You have like almost 200 million,
funny.
man.
That's funny. You know what? You think about that after, because I did. It's funny. I remember Kev, Godfrey, and I took a picture, and I'm like, oh, I guess this is suddenly my highest liked picture of 2021.
Right.
And after the fact, you're like, I should have said, yo, just repost this and tell people, yo, make sure you follow Dean. But in the moment, you never want to be the dude. It's funny. You never want to be the dude that you're hanging out with anyone that's a celebrity, and then it happens to be someone you're friends and you came up with, and then you're like, hey, can we kind of ruin the moment by let's get this picture. Get a picture to post it,
Right.
And everyone's like, because then there's like, oh, damn, dude, we were just enjoying it. Now, if it happens organically,
right.
which that picture that we took did, it happened organically. Someone's like, yo, we should get a picture. I was like, all right, cool. But in your mind, you're like, oh, okay, good.
Right.
This is a good moment. But I'll trip on that because I'm like, you know what? They'll come eventually.
Sure.
But after the fact, there's a moment where you're like, yeah, I should have said, hey, dog, just let me go on your live, especially because he did. When I thought about it, he did it in the movie, or in the miniseries. There's a guy. I'm not going to give away what happens, but there's a guy. He's like, "Come on, man, come get in this. Make sure you follow." And then he's like, "Boom, what do you have? 100,000 followers now? And so you're like, "Oh, I should have done that. What was I thinking?"
The only thing you should be working on now is how to make it that so inconspicuous when you see that to bring it up next time.
Right. Hey,
he's not going to see this coming.
Yeah, look, I don't need any money. I don't want to be in a movie. Let's just get some of them followers.
Exactly.
Hold up, you know what? I'm at 1554. So
okay.
Here, I'm just gonna let's see. You're
playing. Oh, I got you. You hit play. Sure.
Let me see where. No, you know what? That was right. I was doing the bit
ran out of paper
about I watched The Walking Dead for a decade, and you never saw them saying we got to go on a toilet paper run.
Oh, that's right.
That was right. That's the joke. Look, now that I'm just thinking of set list is was doing all the COVID material, which then leads into talking about going away with my family. So I was a little early.
There you go. You brought up Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to watch that special?
I'm curious. You know what? My wife made a good point the other day. She said, why 4 episodes? I'm taking my jacket off. My wife,
I brought up Cosby. Now it's hot in here.
Right. Yeah, my wife, she said, it's an interesting documentary, but why are there 4? And I said, yeah, that does seem rather extreme. I'm gonna watch it. I think a documentary or doc like that is gonna be interesting because I think it's directed and produced by W. Kamau Bell.
Yep.
And
it's
the title is
we need to talk about
Cosby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I said to my wife, because said to her, she was like, I think it's extreme because middle America, mainstream America, she's like, why is Cosby becoming the poster person for quote unquote rape when there's so many others? And then this is my wife's words. She was like, what about Harvey Weinstein? But take it back. What about Woody Allen? What about Elvis? Like all of the underage. So I told her, I said, well, you know what? I think, and this is all speculative, but I think it's a continuation of what Chappelle was talking about. I don't know, 2 or 3 specials ago, where he's like, you know, Cosby did do a lot for people, but he did rape. And does rape outweigh? It's like imagine Jello pudding raping you or something like that. But I told her, I said, and she was like, oh, I wasn't aware he did that joke. I said, no, I said, so I think that's what it is. I said, specifically, I think looking at just seeing the trailer, I think it's a discussion by black people about one of our black icons, and saying that the full title would have been, look, black people, how do we feel about Bill Cosby? Because there's some of us that are going to say he did nothing wrong, and there's some of us that are saying he's a monster. And so we as a community need to discuss this, but it's on Showtime, which is to everyone. And so there are going to be people outside of that community that are going to say, well, he's just a monster. You know what I mean? And so because of how black men specifically in this country have been portrayed, that's, I think, where her disdain for the project or the title of the project came from. She's like, well, you know, all this is doing, why is another black person presenting something to reinforce?
And I read the comments on his Instagram account when he first posted the trailer of this, and they're very similar.
Yeah, right, exactly.
People are like, really?
Right.
Really?
Right.
You're going after your own?
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly. So I understand that, but hopefully in the context of the 4 episodes, the 4-episode discussion, it will
4 10-hour episodes.
Yeah, right. Hopefully it will give more understanding to that. I've met Kamal. He's a nice guy. He's well informed, well read. So I'm gonna check it out because I see people from Godfrey to Chris Spencer, comics that I respect and I'm friends with are part of it. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna watch it before I judge it. You know, there's certain things. I still haven't watched the R. Kelly documentary because I'm like, I'm good.
Right?
You know, Tracy Morgan showed the video in my dressing room years ago. I was like, okay, it's enough. What's enough? You know, so,
drip, drip.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'll check. You know what documentary I'm looking forward to? There's a shout out to Guy Torrey. Guy Torrey has a new doc directed by Reggie Oscar. Did Reggie Hudlin win, or maybe he's nominated? Reginald Hudlin, who directed everything from House Party to Boomerang. He just did The Black Godfather for Netflix. They did. I think it's also 4-part. Maybe black people just like doing things in 4 parts. No. So Hudlin and Guy Torrey did a documentary docuseries called Fat Tuesdays. Now, for those that don't know, Guy Torrey, actually, wonderful comedian, good friend. He did my IG live show, which is the For the Muckin' Protocol, which is funny. When I was last on this show, I think we were probably at episode 20-something. We're now we just did episode 78.
Nice.
Right? So I've been consistent. Every Monday night on Instagram Live, I have amazing talent or someone industry-wide come on and share their story and give some insight. And this week, I have Joe DeRosa actually coming on this Monday, and then Flame Monroe, who did season 1 of Tiffany Haddish Presents Stay Ready. And Guy told me he was one of my first guests. He was probably guest number 4 or 5 back in early 2020, and he told me a story. This was right when the Comedy Store, their docuseries
I saw that.
was airing, which was a great docuseries. But Guy expressed some frustration about that docuseries because they failed to include the fact that the Comedy Store, after the heyday of the 80s, the 90s were sort of desolate. And he did a show when Def Comedy Jam first premiered. He moved out to L.A. His brother Joe was obviously one of the hosts of Def Comedy Jam eventually. And Guy started doing a show every Tuesday night, an urban comedy show called Fat Tuesdays. And it became a destination for all of the celebrities, specifically Black Hollywood, but a lot of just Hollywood icons were starting to just come through on Tuesday nights because they were presented. Since Def Jam was the hottest thing on TV, all the comics that were on there and the ones that were working to get on the show were coming through Fat Tuesdays. And so from what I understand, Guy's Night kept the lights on for the rest for the club, and so he felt slighted, rightfully so. He felt slighted when they did the Showtime docuseries about the Comedy Store, and they didn't include that tidbit of information.
Yeah, not at all.
And so he now has a chance to tell his story, and it premieres on Amazon, I think, this week, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Amazon
no kidding.
Prime, they did 4 episodes, and I just texted him a couple of days ago. I was like, because I saw the trailer, I was like, dude, I said, I'm so upset. I'm not part of this because he told me about it way back when, and he planned to shoot in New York as well, but because of COVID, they weren't allowed. They could only shoot around Hollywood, and so everyone that's in it is pretty much in the Hollywood area.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I didn't know anything about that one.
It looks great, man.
And I've never seen Guy in person, but I've seen him on TV.
Oh, okay,
funny fella,
funny dude, and just a good dude, good spirited fella.
Before we wrap this up,
I just go. I be rambling, son. You asked me how was your day? Well, you know what? It's like I remember. Wait, am I not allowed to do an impression of Cosby because rapey? No.
You just have to alter it now. You got it. The thing I've been doing recently, my guest is coming, and I searched their name on eBay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Do you have any idea what I found when I searched Dean Edwards on eBay?
I'm gonna say you found. Every so often, you'll get those people. There are people that get ordered, will show up at shows, mainly in larger cities. Show up at shows with headshots, and you're like, wait, that's from a movie premiere from 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Why do you have this wire image photo? And they're like, hey Dean, can I just get you this? And you sign one, and then they have 3 or 4 of them. So I'm like, maybe on eBay there are those autographed photos that I signed just on GP, and someone's now selling.
Well, you are very close.
Okay.
Because there are right here. Here's probably one of your old.
Wow, that's my SNL headshot.
That's SNL
wow,
headshot.
That's funny, and that's my signature next to it. That's hilarious. How much is it? Okay, I gotta get my weight up. Damn. Okay. Wow. Okay.
It says it comes with a certificate of authenticity.
It's what? Hold on. Hold on. Yo, this is hilarious. I wish I had recorded.
Oh shit.
That. Hold up. Let me. We'll do it after.
Okay.
We can do it after.
Where's that chain these days?
That's that same chain. My mother gave me that chain when I was 18.
Get out of here.
It's still right here.
You're wearing the same one.
Same exact one. Hasn't left my neck for a couple of weeks during boot camp, and then they let me have it back. Yeah, I don't take and it's funny because people are like because your faith over the years, your faith in your religious practices change. And I remember saying to someone, because a lot of friends are like, you know what, you were raised Episcopalian and Christian, but you are what do they say? You're Islamic adjacent, right? And I said, well, you know, I've traveled a lot, and so I have, you know, I have an appreciation for all faiths, and have probably borrowed. You hear me say inshallah a lot, you know, which is by the grace of God, if God means it to be. But I'm like, well, this means more to me than just it's more than religion. It's, you know, it was a gift from my mom when I was younger, or from my parents, I should say. And so it stays close to my heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I asked that.
Yeah,
Who knew? There's this that I don't think you have any connection to.
No, that's funny, because there's a white Dean Edwards that's a chef. I think he's in Europe, and every so often someone will tag me on my social media thinking it's him, and vice versa. Sure. And so he and I think we've probably exchanged like one or two comments or messages over the years.
What you're saying is you can't explain minspiration to me?
No, minspiration. I believe it's probably something with mincemeat pie.
Minspiration. So Dean Edwards signed 3x5 index card. Some clown had you sign at least 3 different index cards.
Let me see.
They're all available on.
So it's a set.
Yes.
Wow.
It looks like you signed them to someone named, I don't know, Gertrude?
Oh, wow.
Gary?
Wow.
But they're all signed. They're 3 different ones.
Wow.
One says, to the great Gertie or whatever it is. And then the last one says, they're all different versions of that. And then one even says, thanks for laughing.
Oh, that was because they probably were at a show.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They come to the shows. Yeah, I don't know but you know what's funny? They might not even be in the shows. They're just waiting outside after the show ends. And hey, I thank people for coming through and supporting, because I appreciate people taking time out and coming out in hey, what's up, y'all? People coming out in 3-degree weather to get a signed photo that is worth $15, dog. I got to.
The index card.
How much were the
without
index?
Your picture on it?
Right.
45.
45 for. Wait, hold up. So my signatures to Gertie is worth 45, but my handsome face with this beautiful cross from my parents,
not personalized.
That was not personalized, but it was my headshot. From SNL was a measly. I gotta get my weight up, though.
You could save $30.
Yeah, you know what? Damn it.
For the record, though, you could just produce these own for yourself, so you shouldn't be buying them.
Right? No.
All right. I think we.
Did we cover everything?
I think we covered enough.
You
for
always
now.
You always have so much preparation, man. It makes me appreciate. Which I actually do for my Monday nights. I'm very proud of borrowing from the wheelhouse and saying, no, it's good to, have an idea of where you want to go.
Damn right.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. I appreciate you saying that.
Of course.
So if we're on this pace, I think we'll be doing this again in
a warmer season.
Yeah.
Right, Lewis? Dean's coming back in the summer. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So exactly. So finally, come back when it's warmer. And for people that haven't seen it, like we talked about, check you out on Netflix.
And the next goal is the hour. That we gave him the teaser. Now I want my hour on Netflix. I manifested. I actually posted. I made a video in December 2019. I woke up one day and had an epiphany. And I said, and I recorded myself saying, today is December 11th or 15th, 2019. I'm putting it out there that I will shoot a comedy special for Netflix in 2020. And it's on my Instagram. Y'all can check it. You got to scroll down a little bit. But I did that, and then COVID happened. I was like, well, I guess maybe 2021. and then Tiffany called, man. So I'm a firm believer of whatever you want, you have to will it into existence. Don't just want it, will it. Breathe it into existence. Write it down. People hear about Jim Carrey writing himself a check for $1 million or $10 million, so I do all of that. There's in my wallet that's in my hotel room because I didn't want to walk around with that big bulky thing. There's a check in my wallet, and I'm big on like daily meditation and prayer, and actually saying what you want and being specific with what you will into existence. Everybody wants something, right? But it's like don't say I want to be a comedian, because I'm sure there are a lot of people that probably younger or people that are aspiring to maybe get on stage. Don't say I want to do this. Say I will get on stage. I will be a comic, because you're owning it. You're taking ownership of your destiny and saying, no, this is something that I know is going to happen. And so I'm very intentional with my words are powerful. That's why they're spelled.
There you go. The inspiration of Dean Edwards.
That's why we're here. Shoot, want to put something positive out, into the universe. So years from now, when I'm gone, they'll say, you know what? I heard that podcast, and that guy Dean Edwards, something he said touched me, unlike Weinstein or Cosby. Too soon.
Thank you, Dean.
Thanks a lot.